Yo, what's up guys? It's me. How do you like the new intro I have made for all of my TCG stuff? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. Now today we're going to be doing a deck list analysis of a deck I cannot take any credit for because this is actually a guy I ran into on the playtcg.com. His name is Joseph Lopez from Santiago, Chile. And he's made an incredible deck called using Garbador and Terrakion. Now, Garbador is a card that has come to us from the new Dragons Exalted set, and let's just go ahead and go take a look at it. So as you see here, it's a stage 1 with 100 HP, which is really good because that means it can't be one-shotted by Darkrise Night Spear. Granted, it doesn't have a Darkness Claw on it. Has a big 3 retreat cost, but no real big deal, and kind of a shitty attack, but we don't really need to worry about that. Its ability is really where this card shines, because its ability, Garbotoxin, is it says, if this Pokemon has a Pokemon Tool card attached to it, each Pokemon in play in each player's hand and in each player's discard pile has no abilities, except for Garbotoxin, of course. So, as long as you have a Rescue Sarf, Eviolite, I don't know why you would put one on it, any Pokemon Tool, take your pick, on Garbador, no abilities are in effect. So that means Eels are locked, the Dragon Call from Gabite will be locked, Darkrise Dark Cloak, Altaria's Dragon Song, friggin' Hydreigon's Dark Trance, they're all locked, and it's an incredibly good deck because it just is an incredible idea, seeing as like a lot of things are just really rely on those abilities to get their speed and their power going. So really, this is kind of like an anti-meta game deck. It's pretty good. Terrakion EX is another card that shines in this deck. Obviously because you're running the 4 normal Terrakion, and it actually provides a little bit of energy acceleration. So let's go ahead and look at that card as well. Terrakion EX basic, like all of the EXs are so far, and it has 180 HP, really good, and can be bumped up with a Eviolite. Its first attack, Rock Tumble, does 50 damage, and it's unresisted. Really good if those little Emolgas are running around, or those Tornadus EXs are still popping up every once in a while. Its next attack is really where this thing shines. It's called Pump Up Smash. It does 90 damage, same damage as the normal Land Crush, but you get to choose 2 basic energy cards from your hand and put them on a bench Pokemon in any way you like. So it's basically a little bit of energy acceleration, which Terrakion has really been needing. It also has a grass weakness, which is really good, seeing as there's not really too much for grass types running around. Besides, like, maybe the rogue Virizion, I don't really foresee anybody having a problem with that at all. Or the rogue Shaman EX, but you know what? We've been over that. 3 retreat cost, no real big deal, seeing as that we are running the max amount of switch. The normal Terrakion is also the last star of this deck, but I don't really think I need to talk about that since it's been around for quite some time, and you should all be familiar with what it does. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this list. This list is his list that he sent me, and it looks pretty solid. So starting off, we're going to be looking at the Trubbish he's using. He's using the Trubbish from the Noble Victories set. Now, this Trubbish, I see why he's using it, just because of its Garbage Collection attack, which you basically get to choose a card, any card from your discard, and put it back on top of your deck. So that'll be basically your next draw. Pretty good idea. Not really something you want to rely on or really depend on using too much, but if the situation calls upon it, might as well use it. Just like Dynamos, you don't really want to use them, but if the situation calls, you have it to use. So there we go. Next, he's running 4 Garbador. I don't really know what the deal is with these lines, but you know what? It's his deck. He decides to run it how he wants. Me personally, I would probably switch those 2 numbers to 4 Trubbish and 3 Garbador, but you know what? It's his thing. So I just talked about Garbador, so I don't really need to go into that. He's going to be running 4 Terrakion of the normal Terrakion from Noble Victories. Pretty obvious why he's running this. This is basically like a mono Terrakion deck with the Garbador tech right in. And 1 copy of the Terrakion EX. I think if I was building this, I would probably put in 1 more Terrakion EX, but you know what? That's just me. Next, let's go ahead and move on to his trainers and supporters. He has 4 Juniper and 4 N, which is basically standard right about now, seeing as Pont is out. Pretty much a lot of other good draw support is out. So 4 Juniper, 4 N, that's what we got going. And it's not a bad hand support at all. So next he has 2 Bianca and 2 Sharon. I'm thinking this is kind of like him trying to find the middle ground with these 2 cards. Bianca is a very good card, but it's not really my favorite, and it does have its place. Just like if you do have a very small hand, or you can make yourself have a very small hand with using your cards like Tool Scraper or attaching your Pokemon tools, etc. You know what? Might as well use Bianca. And 2 Sharon. Sharon's pretty straightforward. You get to draw 3 cards. Yay. That's why I like Sharon a little bit more. It's more consistent. So next, we're going to look at 2 Pokemon tools. One that's been around for quite some time and is starred pretty heavily in the Mono Terrakion deck is Experience Share. Experience Share obviously is very good. It keeps that energy onto the field and gives Terrakion some slight energy acceleration, which it really does need. If you guys forget the way Experience Share works, if you have an active Pokemon out there and it gets knocked out, any Pokemon that has an Experience Share attached to it, that knocked out Pokemon, you can take a basic energy attached to that one and put it on the one with the Pokemon tool on it. Really good card, and it definitely helps out Terrakion a lot. So the next card that he has for a Pokemon tool is called Rescue Scarf. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Rescue Scarf is a Pokemon tool, came to us from the Dragons Exalted set. Works like any other Pokemon tool, and it works just like Rescue Energy of the Triumphant set. Basically, works just like the Rescue Energy. If your Pokemon gets knocked out, you get to keep all those Pokemon in that whole evolutionary line, put them right back into your hand instead of going into the discard. You do unfortunately have to discard the Rescue Scarf, but you know what? No big deal. This is basically for your Garbadors. You get to easily keep those guys alive just with the Rescue Scarf, and obviously activates the Garbotoxin ability. Next we have 4 Catcher. Catcher is pretty obvious. I don't really think I need to go into any further than this. And yeah, so for Switch is pretty obvious, seeing as everything in this deck has a high retreat cost, so you might as well abuse those Switch and put a maximum number of them in it. Next, he has 3 Heavy Ball. 3 Heavy Ball is really good because you can search out Garbador, Terrakion, or Terrakion EX with these anytime you want. It's basically a free search and is an excellent card for the synergy of this deck, and definitely helps to speed up process. Then he has 3 Ultra Ball. 3 Ultra Ball is pretty good for just being able to search anything you want. Seeing as he's not running Emolga, he's not running Level Ball. Ultra Ball is a pretty decent middle ground, so might as well. Next he has 2 Tool Scraper, so let's go ahead and look at that card, seeing as this is a new card as well. Oh my god, why is it so hard to say? Tool Scraper is a card where you get to choose 2 Pokemon tools attached to Pokemon in play. Yours or your opponent's, and you get to discard those. So it pretty much gets to take care of those pesky Eviolites that are running around and could stop your Terrakion getting kills on pokes like, say, Darkrai, Raikou, Zekrom, EX, etc. You know what I'm trying to get at. Regigigas, if he's still floating around. Unfortunately, though, so if your opponent only has one Pokemon tool on the field, you will unfortunately have to discard one of your own, but it's no real big deal. So, yeah. Next, we have 2 Super Rod, obviously for recovery. This is a very good recovery card that's been around for a good little while, but now that we have no real reliable recovery with Junk Arm, he's not running Sableye, of course, so might as well run Super Rod, get those Terrakions, get those Trubbish, Garbador, and Fighting Energy back into the discard. So, last but not least, he is running 10 Fighting Energy. Pretty solid number. Me personally, I might want to bump it up to 12 or 11, but it is a pretty solid number sitting there at 10, since generally the energy that's on the field, generally most of it seems to stay there because of your use of experience share. So that's pretty much it. It's a very good deck, very strong deck, very hard to beat whenever that ability lock is in place. So yeah, he's told me that it's taken care of Garchomp Altaria. It has taken care of my Darkrai Hydreigon pretty easily, seeing as that deck relies Darkrai Hydreigon relies pretty heavily on abilities of Darkrai and Hydreigon itself. I'd imagine the same would work for Eels decks, seeing as they rely pretty heavily on their Eels. Pretty much the biggest problem I see here is with them catching up the Garbadors, but because he runs a pretty heavy line of them, I don't really foresee this being too terrible of a problem. And also with the rescue scarfs, I mean, you can keep that lock going pretty steadily. So that's pretty much the look over of it. Thank you very much, Joseph Lopez, for giving me this list and allowing me to share this with all these awesome guys on YouTube. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, sub, all that good shit. Deuces.